Hello, hello, and happy Monday to you. I hope you are having a great start to your week. And I'm starting this again. Hello, happy Monday. I hope you're having a great start to your week. And I am coming to you with a quick debrief from our backpacking trip this past weekend. We went to a place called Emigrant Wilderness in the Sierra Nevadas. And the takeaways that I'll share from this trip were to study the hell out of the map and the terrain, because just thinking that you can do a particular trek is one thing, and knowing that you have it in you to do it is another thing, based on past experience and muscle memory and all of the things. And then getting there and having the trail be completely different than you anticipated. This trail was very steep. It was not well maintained, which was one of the things we learned from closer investigation of the map, and discovered that it's not a very well maintained, regularly maintained trail. So there were tons of downed trees on the way, and we had to navigate around those and find our way back to the trail or under or over the trees. So with a big backpack on, that's a little bit of a daunting task. And that terrain, that first, I think it was about 2 miles. We went about 2,300 feet up, so pretty much straight up slope for most of the way for that 2 miles. And the next thing is wondering why there isn't anyone else on the trail. Looking around, you hardly ever anywhere have the opportunity to have a trail completely to yourself. And on this particular track, we saw nobody for that whole first stretch until we got to the first lake that we were not planning to stay at, but ended up staying at. And part of that, I think, has to do with the not so maintained trail, and it's a little bit less traveled. So we had actually anticipated seeing more wildlife than we did based on that after we kind of reflected on the trail conditions and not seeing a lot of people. So that is number two. And then number three is being honest in your assessment of things. So we sat down at this lake and had a conversation about, okay, we could go another 4 or 5 miles, and be exhausted because we still had another, I think it was like 600 or 700 feet to climb. And it was one of those up a few hundred, down a few hundred, up a few hundred, down a few hundred. And so we just sort of thought about it. And it was, we got a late start because we had a 3 hour drive to get to the trail and get our permit from the ranger station and then get to the trailhead. So it was about 1 o'clock or so. And we sort of looked around at this lake called Chewing Gum Lake, and it was just gorgeous. And it was a lake I had always wanted to see. So it was kind of one of those things where we're like, well, we don't have anything to prove to anyone, not even ourselves. So let's just spend the night here. And, if we feel like it, we'll get up in the morning and we'll go up to the next lake and then come back and then make our way back on Sunday. Well, a little later in the evening when we started making dinner, we realized that we didn't pack our spoons. It was kind of like all of the things just adding up to make a hilarious situation of, oh crap, well that was the best of intentions and it just didn't work out. And thankfully that we weren't, really far into the backcountry without proper tools to eat our meals with. So what we ended up doing that night was we made our backpacking meal, which is a dehydrated meal in a bag, with the hot water and let it sit and then all that and let it cool off really, really well. And then we just basically kind of ate it like soup out of the package. So it was entertaining and a good reminder to make sure that you just all the things checked from your standpoint of gear. And then the last thing is just enjoying every single minute. We got to that lake early enough in the day that we had plenty of time to go sit by the lake. There was this duck that was making obnoxious noises all around the lake. It was really funny. So we went and sat out by the lake and enjoyed that serenity. There was, like I said, hardly anyone around until it got a little bit later in the day, and we started seeing a few people setting up camps, not even right close to us, just across the lake and around the corner and over here. So it was amazing. It was a beautiful spot. So we just, enjoy every minute. And we decided, since we forgot our utensils for eating our dinners, that we would just call it a short trip and come back home. So we did, I don't know, somewhere around like 12 or 15 miles. So not a big deal. But it was that climb, just keeping that thing really in the focus of the forefront of our mind for the next trip. So that's my debrief, a little longer than usual. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.